Hey everybody, welcome to Bonus Stuff. We just got done reviewing The Fall Guy. Go check that review out. But we review all the newest pop culture's releases, and something else new came out, and that's My Hero Season 7. Jared, I know you've seen the first episode. Can you give us kind of a spoiler-free reaction to it?
A spoiler-free one?
Yeah.
No, not even that.
Dang.
Did anything happen?
It picked up where the last season left off.
There you go.
Hey, it did that. It did its job.
Good job.
So we actually rated all the heroes in Class A. We did it kind of like when you're in high school and all the girls are rating the guys and they give them numbers 1 through 10. We kind of did it that way. So we're going to start off with the least liked character. And
That's the least?
Oh, really?
That is the
Surprising.
Koji Koda.
Is it surprising?
I feel like, yeah.
He just doesn't do anything.
I feel like there's an obvious least character.
I don't even want to hear it from you.
Michael, you look like you've summoned something from hell on your
I
screen.
do. Oh, because that's
Yeah.
my monitor's close to my face, so I got all this red and yellow on me right now. So don't make me angry, Thomas.
So he's so lame. I couldn't find an action gif of him. That's how
Aw.
lame he
Just
is.
go-
But he's nice.
He's perfectly nice.
You can say that about all of them.
No, yeah.
Yeah, who's not nice?
They're heroes.
Bakugo.
Bakugo?
And yet still nice.
Yeah, no,
We'll
he's
get
not.
to that.
We'll get to that.
Dang. So let's go to the next one. Invisible
Yeah.
Girl. What's wrong with you guys?
I just feel
I
like she
think
doesn't
she's
ever
there.
do
Exists.
anything.
He just doesn't do much.
She never does anything.
She always surprises them that she's there.
She like has a word of dialogue here and there, and then you're like, oh yeah, you exist. Like kind of.
Yeah.
You hear a voice and they're like, who is that? And you never find out because she's invisible.
Mhm, mhm.
So they get their powers like X-Men, right? Like when they hit
Yeah.
puberty. So was she visible at one time?
I guess so.
Probably.
Probably.
Is it at a certain age?
Good
I thought
question,
so.
But
They
It
like start showing after a
grows,
while. Yeah.
'Cause who
They don't
would-
have it as babies.
Yeah.
Who could deliver an invisible baby?
True.
That's
So
There's
Tokoyami
nothing
was
coming
like a
out.
bird? A baby bird?
Came out of an egg.
an egg. Yeah.
So this surprised.
Aw, that low?
Yeah, that guy's gonna be lower.
That low, man.
He needs to be
He
lower.
should,
Wow.
he should be
He's
lower.
funny.
No, he's
He's funny.
He is funny.
He's the only funny character in this.
He crosses so many lines, though.
Yes, that's what's funny.
But it's just like,
He starts off kind of annoying, and his humor just like evolves throughout the show.
I don't know.
He's basically just
so
a Gilbert
obnoxious.
Gottfried in cartoon form. All right. That's
Yeah.
all I think about.
Is that bad?
And America
know.
loved Gilbert Gottfried.
It's true. There was a time and place for Gilbert Gottfried, but that time has passed.
So next we have Sugar Man. This Sugar Man's not bad. He's
No.
just
Yeah, he is.
No, he's
like
just there.
Yeah,
he's invisible. He's like Invisible Girl. He's just
He looks like an
lost.
ultimate muscle character.
yeah, he 100%.
Yeah.
He does look like
I feel like the show just ignores him because they forget.
Yeah, they're like, he wasn't that great of a, what's he gonna do?
Is this like, does his power like the opposite of diabetes? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gets? Okay.
the next we have this guy, Tinta Cole. He's got the stupidest name, I think, out of all of them.
I feel like
His
this.
powers freak me out, to be honest with you.
I feel
He's
like
just kind of gross.
Yeah, it's kind of gross.
Does he
You know what
talk
he
ever?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
You know
Out
what
of
he
his
reminds me
hand
of? He reminds me of the Morlocks in X-Men. They're like gross. You don't really want to. They live in the sewer, and you're just kind of like,
He's
Then
a
how did he
serious-
get up above Mineta?
He's a serious guy, though. I think. I think he's like one of the more serious guys.
he
So we
got
have-
above the last.
He did, sure.
he's cool, but
His
he never
costume's
does
cool, but-
anything. Like nothing ever happens around him. He's just
I
kind of
feel
there
like
to
he
talk and
tries,
he listens to
but-
things.
He gets so outclassed by everybody he fights, though.
Yeah,
He's like their Spider-Man.
Kind of.
Not anymore
But-
because Deku can use that whip.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he can now.
Well,
he doesn't
Deku
have, like-
copies everyone.
But he doesn't have any like actual like powers besides the whip thing. That's about it.
And
His
it comes
costume
out
is
of
cool,
his
though.
elbows and
His
it's
tape.
gross.
It's also that's pretty gross. It's like, why the elbows? Why?
Why the elbow? Yeah, that's the worst part, I think.
It's like, why not
And then
like,
we
the
got-
top of the wrist? How did he make it this high?
Can't stop
It's funny.
twinkling.
He had that really good episode where he's all creepy.
Yeah,
to Deku.
yeah.
That was good. But he's so annoying though.
He's funny.
I don't
Dude,
think
when he shows up outside of Deku's window, that legitimately
Yeah.
got a little bit. I was like, oh,
He's a
I feel
funny
like
guy.
he's goofy. I don't feel like he's annoying. He never like
Yeah.
interrupts anyone or like
he at least has a good episode. So
yeah.
Mhm.
All right, next one. Robbie.
What are your problems with?
She's just mid.
No.
I think
I
she's
think
above
she's-
average, but I think she's overrated.
Yes.
She got a
She's-
5 on our list.
Really?
she has not done much since like the second season where they get trapped
Yeah.
inside the survival this part right here.
Yeah.
She has not done much, and which is
Yeah, I
weird
feel like she
because
hasn't done
everybody
much.
was obsessed with her for a long time.
True.
Yeah, I think she's the most overrated because people just go nuts for
Yeah,
her and
people lose their mind.
frogs.
The frogs.
People like frogs.
She just licked.
They do.
Tail Man.
How did he get this high?
That's
Yeah.
interesting,
He's
yeah.
like a chill monk kind of dude, but
Yeah,
he's
he's cool.
but he just has a tail. That's not a power. That's
Yeah.
I
like
know.
He's
just
a
got, like, this
martial
tree trunk
artist,
tail.
Jared.
He's got a cool demeanor though.
he's
I'll
like
give
the
him that.
blandest man. Look at him. He's so bland.
He,
Again, can you
He's
point
like-
out a moment where he helped like in a major way?
He's
Nah.
the beige of human. Like
The baby.
The color beige
of
out of human.
humans.
so
You
bland.
blend
That
into the
goes
earth,
with
sir.
everything.
goes with everything. Like a tan pair of shoes.
Pinky.
Really, this high?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I like
kinda
her.
Cool.
She's like right in the middle of the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be honest, she's
Not like
my
special.
favorite
She's not...
female class A.
Why?
Really?
Yeah.
She doesn't do anything. She's
She's
She does stuff.
no.
Important in that
But
last
she never
battle.
succeeds though.
Yeah,
True.
true.
She tries
a
really
lot of
hard,
these
but
people
she
don't
never
succeed.
she never succeeds. It's always like, oh, oh well, yeah, it was a good try.
Her power's kind of gross too. She's
Yeah.
got the
Yeah.
Acid.
Slime, acid
Yucky.
slime.
slime. Yeah.
How
Okay,
did he
I
get
like.
this high?
I like
That's
Charred
questionable.
Wool.
I
Oh,
like
he's
him,
annoying.
but he's so dumb.
Yeah. Him and the pink girl.
That makes him cool. I like that he kind of has a weakness.
Yeah, it's like
It's like super
backfired.
sleepy.
I think
Yeah.
I like the costume and just not much else.
His powers are kind of cool though.
Yeah, he's got cool
Mhm.
powers, but
Oh,
him
like-
himself is annoying.
Especially
But there's so many electric characters and stuff.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean this. He's not good.
He's like an annoying Pikachu that don't shut up.
Yeah.
His hair looks
So,
like
like
Pikachu.
He's just a human version of Pikachu.
Okay.
What?
Prepare to get mad, Jared.
Interesting.
I am mad.
Good.
What number is this? Of them
This
all?
is hold on. So
Hold on.
he got a 6.2 on
That's
the list.
it? Oh my
That's it, man.
God. Who the heck hates him so much?
Jonah gave him like a
Jonah.
2.
Thomas? Oh my
He just-
Someone
gosh.
gave-
His
him a
whole character
one.
is just he just
A
yells all the
one?
time.
Oh
He's the
my
only one with character
Lanta.
development.
What do you
No, he
mean?
just literally does not grow throughout the entire
freaking-
show.
He's the same freaking thing.
No,
Like, he
he's
doesn't
not.
Yes, he
change.
is.
He changes the most.
No.
But see, I feel like he
Deku-
does change the
Deku
most.
and Icy Hot never change.
Icy Hot.
You have
You guys are hung up that he still
That's
yells.
not
Yes,
true.
he yells.
you
But
have
his
characters
character
that don't.
change.
He has
You
that
have
whole-
characters that don't move at all, and then just randomly they're like, "Oh, I've changed."
No, that's
he had-
Deku.
No,
Deku
that's
has not changed. He's regressed, if anything.
Also, he
is
was
a regressed man.
Like,
They
almost
didn't
like
show any of his
none.
development throughout the whole show, and then he's just like,
Yeah.
"Oh, you're
They-
fine."
He's been
He was almost-
alongside
he was
Deku the whole
almost-
time.
Yeah, abusing him is what he was
Yeah.
doing. It.
So-
he was also like not in the third season at all.
Yeah.
This was the most like drastic scores. So because like Some gave him 1, some of them gave him a 10. Or
I did.
yeah,
What?
he got 2 10s.
See, 2 10s, baby.
100%.
And some gave him 1, some of them gave him a 2, and I gave him an 8. So
Thomas
He's a
and
good-
Jonah are just the Sasuke lovers of this group.
Dang.
he's a good
least they have character.
Jonah, he's a good character. He just gets a little grating sometimes.
No, he's not a good character.
He is. God.
He's just a guy who yells all the time.
So are you.
Says the guy that's currently yelling.
So Momo. So we
Yes.
get to the
She got above Bakugo, guys. Come on.
Yes,
I
good.
know, man.
Come
Yes,
on.
she is
That is-
actually
He's
helpful.
good. What? Yeah.
She always fails. They
Yeah,
always
that's
need
true.
something from
At
her.
least she
and it
has a
never
plan,
pans out.
though.
Yeah, a plan doesn't work. She's useless.
Bakugo literally says he doesn't make plans and just goes off on his
Bakugo,
own.
Yeah, and gets
He doesn't
stuff
help the team
done.
at all.
He gets
He
stuff
fails
done.
half the time he does anything.
He got
No,
captured.
that's her. She doesn't do anything. Every time she
She doesn't
tries
make that
something, it
sense.
fails. And someone has to bail her out. You guys don't even watch the show.
At least she tried. She's not like Bakugo just
You're
ran
just
off on
looking at
his
her
own.
chest because you guys are perverts.
Dang.
Jeez.
Yeah, I agree. This is a little too high for me. She's kind of like the Storm, where she's kind of a stick in the mud.
Yeah, 100%.
You guys hate her too.
She's in this next one. So this one I think is the coolest female class.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Her ears are just a little weird. It'd be weird to see in like live action.
That would be super gross.
It'd just be a drooping ear.
but yeah, she's one of those like characters that take kind of skill for her powers to work. So I
Mhm.
respect
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I agree.
So Tenya, I don't like this character that
What's wrong
much.
with him?
You guys all had him so high.
He had a lot to do in the beginning, but then they kind of
Yeah.
just like,
Well, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but his stained fight is amazing.
He's so cool, man. And he's voiced by
So
Gohan. So.
cool.
He's so cool. He's just trying his hardest to be a good leader, good brother, good all this stuff, and he struggles with a lot with that, and it's awesome.
He's like the
It's like,
Cyclops of the team,
Yeah.
yeah, just the good
which
boy.
they hate too.
So she
Really?
Jared
That
gave
high?
her a
I
really
know.
low grade.
Really low, huh?
Yeah. What did you give her, Jared? Let's check.
I gave her a 5. She's a very middle of the road for
That's
me.
what I thought I gave her. Maybe I gave her a 6.
I gave her like a 7, I think.
Not high.
He have like an
Yeah.
8.
Wow.
Yeah, I think I gave her a 7. I think. Where is she? Anyway.
Where are you?
Where are you?
Just out of averages, she made it, I guess.
She's the heart of the show, right?
Yeah.
She's literally the middle of the road.
Yeah,
The
she's-
emotional core.
Yeah, Jared gave her a 5, and then she got 3 8s and a 7, so not bad.
Hmm.
8.
She's
I
really
gave her
like
an
an
8.
extension of Deku's like story.
Yeah, she's like the female Deku.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh,
This
hell
guy's
yeah.
way too high.
No, he's cool, and he's
I
voiced
don't
by
like
One
this
of the
guy at
best.
all.
Red Riot's
Really?
awesome, man.
voiced by
Yeah.
So-
Yusuke's voice actor.
He's so dumb. He's one of those
What?
hanger-ons. He just likes Bakugo too much.
Okay, the reason why I like him is because he actually like hits Bakugo back, and I'm just like, yes, do that. Fight
He's
back.
Bakugo gone right.
And then he has that dumb rival, and
He's
Yeah,
fine.
No,
I don't
I
really
love
like
that
his
rivalry.
Rival's goofy.
Yeah.
I like that rivalry. It's cool. They both
Just too
they
similar.
both respect each other.
yeah.
Yeah.
they're just like each
He's
other.
a solid character.
They should just fuse.
A solid character. So,
Mm.
Jared,
The worst
almost-
character.
I didn't give
The
Jared.
best character.
Right.
Jared.
Let me say this, Jonah. I was fair, and I was like, I'll give him a 6 because he's got a good backstory. You just gave Bakugo a 1 because you hate him. Like you didn't even give it a fair.
Because this character, he has a backstory. He helps the team. He has good development consistently throughout the entire show.
No, he does not.
Yes, he
Oh
does.
my
Every
God.
season, he has some roles.
He has some.
And he's actively active in each season, not shipped to
He
the
doesn't
side.
just disappear or get kidnapped halfway through.
So I didn't give anyone a 10.
Well, yes, we know that, Joseph. You know,
I know.
That's true. Yeah.
But this was the closest. I gave him a
Dang.
9 just because he really disappointed me in that
He
training
lost one
arc.
fight and he went down.
And he didn't even really like fight back. He just kind of gave up on it. And he's got a great story, Jared. He's got that family life that's all screwed up, and he's got the
His
coolest
story
powers.
continues to grow.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but the tournament arc fight between him and Deku, though,
Yeah.
like that
Good
was
stuff.
amazing. That's season 1, and yes, that is some good stuff right there, Michael.
That
Ugh,
was
that's
like
a good. That's
that
a good fight.
Naruto fight.
You guys really like crybabies, I guess.
Yeah, but then what do you mean cry?
He knows
doesn't
what he doesn't
cry.
have to yell for stuff.
Okay, this is way too high. Deku?
Oh,
No,
come on.
Deku's amazing.
Someone's higher than
Yeah.
Deku?
Someone is higher than
Interesting.
Deku.
Really?
Deku, man, I have my problems with Deku.
Hey.
You guys know that.
I really liked him in the
Mr.
last arc because
Mhm.
so
got
good.
really depressed.
His-
and
his
he's, like,
Batman arc?
questioning everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably why I gave him. What did I give him? I
A
gave him a
2?
7. I gave him a 7. If it wasn't for that last arc, I probably would have given him like a 5.
Jeez.
What?
It's just-
Really? The last
It's-
arc?
Yeah, where he went all like Dark Bunny on that. I like that. I like
Dark
that
Bunny.
costume.
I like that arc like a lot.
No, he's saying that's what made
actually.
him like him more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But normally he's just this guy that the show tells us is super smart, even though
He is
just tells
smart.
us- he just tells us what that we know already, and he
Or
like
what
takes
other
everyone's-
characters give him.
Yeah, he's not. He's like, you gotta think he's smart. I don't like that. I hate that when the shows and TV do
I don't
that.
feel like they're trying to make him seem like super smart. I feel like he's just trying to make him seem like he's like he knows so much about superheroes because he's so obsessive about them. That
He knows how to use the information he gets,
Yeah.
and he doesn't just throw it away.
Yeah, because
And
he
then he
wasn't given
cries.
power. 'cause
and
He
he
wasn't given
cries.
powers.
He does cry.
Yeah,
He cries every freaking.
but it's funny.
It's funny
is
that
funny.
he cries.
Yeah,
It's funny.
Okay, the most popular character
Interesting.
that we rated, everyone loves him. The Dark
Although,
Claw user.
He does not do a lot though.
Chocobro.
yeah.
Chocobro.
I don't like how he flies, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't either.
Looks
Looks a little weird.
He's a bird.
He's a bird.
Well,
No,
he's-
he
it
gets
needs to be a
carried.
different
he gets
visual.
carried by the shadow though. It's a little odd.
That's cool.
It looks terrible. I do
Well-
like how he has this whole like, if he lets the darkness get too out of hand,
Yeah.
he's always
Yeah.
worried about
Yeah.
that. That's pretty cool.
Like he's a lot more powerful than he lets on, but he
Yeah.
doesn't actually go that far. Pretty cool. He's basically just a samurai bird. So
And yeah, in that last season, he had to save his mentor,
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
even though his mentor was being kind of shady, according
think-
to the bad
I
guys.
think he got so high because nobody actively hates him and everybody.
Yeah,
that's
Yeah.
definitely
Not
it.
the- he's not divisive at all.
No.
All right.
He's got a
So
little
that was a-
turtleneck or scarf. Or, is that his skin? I don't
No
know.
scarf.
Okay. I don't know
So
if it
that
like-
was our list for My Hero. We'll have to see how the rankings change with this new season that has come out. Does
I
someone
don't think it will.
you don't you know you don't think Bakugo will have even more character growth?
Oh,
than he's
never.
already-
They
Oh,
won't see it. They'll be blind to it. They just ignore it.
He
He
had the
literally
whole,
has none.
he had
They're
the
always
whole
just-
thing where he's getting like mentored kind of by All Might after a while because he's always jealous of Midoriya because Midoriya gets taken on by All Might, the greatest hero of all time, and Bakugo's like, no, I'm the best, blah blah blah. And so it's like this big.
But he didn't work all that
Down.
hard. He was.
Yes,
was
he did.
born-
He
was
worked-
born. He was born with a natural.
They
ability.
all.
He's
most
just
of
every
them are,
negative
except for
emotion into a
Deku.
character.
pretty much.
But he
yeah.
still worked hard. He's still working hard, even though he doesn't have the strongest power.
Yeah, his power.
Deku got the strongest power. He has nothing to worry about. But he
Yes,
still
he
works
does.
hard as
He
equal.
actively has to not kill himself by accident.
Bakugo actually has to be smart rather than Deku just telling us.
But that's never going to happen because he's a
You guys
moron.
are impossible.
But he's so small. He just always goes against the team. He's like, no, I'm gonna do everything my own.
He
I
always encourages the team because they're like, "Oh, I don't think I could do that." And he's like, "No, you got it."
He like accidentally encourages.
No, he does it. Oh my god!
I don't think I've ever heard more divisive opinions on any. It's like there's not two sides here. There's like 14 different angles coming in and just.
But what's
clashing in the
funny
middle
is
here.
that it's the three brothers that are fighting. They're normally always in sync, but they're like trying to kill each other right now.
I would have gave him a 9, but his personality just gets a little grating. At
The
times.
personality is a 1 off of that.
Oh, wait,
Yeah.
which one?
Yeah, I know.
Like those were his major problems.
I do love the part where the three of them are staying at the fire guy's house.
Oh yeah.
Who cut the chives wrong?
All right, so we want to get. Oh, we got a little bit of news to talk about first. So the big controversy this week. There's always seems to be like a big old controversy every week, and this time it was with Helldivers. So Helldivers has been the kind of multiplayer, favorite of everyone for the past couple months or however long it's been out. It's been about months, right? And that was until this last week where Helldivers got into some controversy when an announcement came out, and it basically told everyone, hey, even if you're playing this on Steam or bought it on Steam, you have to sign up for the PlayStation Network. And this made PC players not too happy, because what I've heard is, the PC player mindset is that they don't want to sign up for stuff like that. They're very protective of their data. Sony kind of has a reputation of leaking data a lot and getting hacked. So that was a big outcry, and people were like, get us refunds. Well, Helldivers wouldn't refund it if you played it over 2 hours. And
let's be honest, they've been playing a lot more in 2 hours.
Yeah. So another big deal was they kind of found out some of the views of the community managers over there. I think it's called Arrowhead is their studio. And, it's the big political stuff, of course, kind anti-gamer rhetoric that goes on there. But the CEO for Arrowhead came out in support of the gamers. He's like, we're going to try to figure this out. And then another issue came out that not every country has access to the PlayStation Network, including Ukraine, which is kind of a hot button topic. So they're like, what do these countries do that can't play on PlayStation Network? And then basically they don't have an idea right now. They're just kind of giving refunds. So it seems like Sony did this, like forced them into it, even though they knew it was coming. Sony says, well, the reason for this that they're saying is that they want to cut down on griefing and toxic gameplay, stuff like that. Sony has this new trademark AI that's gonna kind of block players by reading their emotions. It's kind of weird stuff. But yeah, so that was been. The latest that I've heard on it was that Sony delisted it on those countries that don't have the PlayStation Network. So a lot of people don't know what to do, and the community has acted very against this move. They kind of review bombed Helldivers on Steam, and it's getting very negative response from this. And the Arrowhead studio guy was kind of like, yeah, keep doing that. That way Sony has to actually talk to us and discuss this. So that's kind of been the big controversy this week. Have you guys encountered this? I know Thomas has played Helldivers.
I mean, yeah, but it's also been finals, so I haven't played a lot like in the last week or so. Right when all this happened, but I don't know. I mean, I play mine on PlayStation, so I can't really say, one thing or the other. I think it's funny that PC people are like, oh, we don't like because of our privacy, but I mean, come on, man, like it's all out there.
I mean, it's also just a weird thing that PlayStation does this every time. They for the longest time, they use the excuse of, oh, we want to keep everyone protected and safe from crossplay. So we're going to do crossplay in Rocket League. We're going to do crossplay in Call of Duty. I don't know what. I think they just want their numbers higher or something like that. I don't know what it is, which is strange because, PlayStation, I feel like is doing totally fine. But like, why? I don't understand the requirement to have people make a PlayStation account unless you just want the higher numbers, or like Joseph said, they're coming up with that weird AI thing. I feel like the stupid thing, like, it's kind of funny because I was reading that it was initially supposed to be within the first couple of weeks, whenever the game came out. They were supposed to have to get a PlayStation account to do it in, but the servers were so crazy, they postponed it. We're like, hey, let's just deal with this. So I don't know what the actual issue is or the actual reasoning, because I feel like being the parent to make a safe space for gaming just isn't in the company's responsibility or need to do. Like, it's just just put out the game, and if they're hackers, get rid of them. If they're like have the reporting system that every game has, like I playing Warzone the other day and there was a guy with an absolutely terrible name, I just reported it. Boom, done. That's all you need. Like, there's no like AI reading, controlling. It's everyone knows what you're getting to when you're getting to. And also, isn't Helldiver's like I assume it's rated M, right? Like, I remember playing it. There's like a bunch of swear words and stuff. Yeah, it's like you're playing an M-rated game. You know what you're getting to. You're 18 years old plus. You don't need a babysitter. I don't know. So I don't know what the actual reason is, but it just feels weird to say that it's to control the. You
can already report
trolls.
People, and I mean, you can grief people, but the thing is, like, if you grief people, it's detrimental to the rest of the mission. So I've only encountered one person that was actively griefing me, like when I was like playing the video game. Thing is, I just left. I'm like, okay, cool, and then I found another squad.
Yeah, it's a little shame because I feel like you hear a lot of good kind of gamer community stories from Helldivers of things like, well, like, oh, these people were treating people wrong in games, so we're gonna shun them, whatever. Like, their team kill a guy who's doing everything bad to everyone else. I don't know. I feel like it's kind of built those stories that you hear, but like, oh, that's really cool, or like those weird stories where you hear in games where people will line up whenever the server's not working, like in whatever. Oh, that was like what the heck is that game called? I can't remember. Anyway, and so like things like that. Like, I feel like the community's taken control and done a good job keeping it under check. It's what I'm trying to say.
Well, no. We need this AI in competitive gaming because I want to see that just spiral out of control. Like, it going off emotions, it's gonna ban everyone.
Yeah.
So
No one can play.
Empty servers everywhere.
Like, I've had like good interactions with other like players and stuff all on Helldivers too. Because like when I got my tooth pulled, I couldn't really talk. So I was on comms going, sorry guys, they're doing this. The thing is, I was playing with people from Australia, and so I couldn't understand a word they were saying, and they couldn't understand a word that I was saying. Like, don't worry, mate, we'll get through this, all right? I'm like, okay.
That'd be funny if they did understand you. You're like, oh yeah,
more clearly.
Translates it.
We got it.
But that was the fun part, was that even with the disability that I had at that point in time, I still had a great time, and we did a good job. It was a lot of fun. But that was a very like organic interaction with people.
Well, it's also just a shame because like PlayStation, everyone's been fearful of the games as a service things, because everyone wants to hit that big Fortnite potluck, whatever. And like PlayStation actually did it. Is like, you actually have a game people are loving and obsessed with right now. Why the heck are you trying to screw that up? Like, you're getting too big for your britches, and you need to calm down because people are enjoying your game. Leave it as is. Like, just keep doing what you're doing. We can only hope this move to piss people off like that.
We can only hope that they retract it, like what was it? Xbox did the always online, and even if you buy the game, you don't own the game. So,
did you guys hear the quote from Ubisoft recently, where they were basically saying like they wanted people to not feel like they own their games? Ubisoft, stop talking.
I love the response was like, okay, if the purchasing isn't the buying of the game, then the pirating of it isn't theft at that point. So it's like, good job.
They piss off their fans like every month. I don't know how they still.
Dude, yeah, we'll see.
Well, you made the point of crossplay. They could just say, an easy fix if they really want the PlayStation Network is just say no more crossplay and just have PC players and PlayStation players. But I think this is more of Sony just trying to get data.
Yeah, probably.
As
Wanna
much
sell you
data as
stuff.
they can. Yeah.
Or sell
So
your stuff.
okay.
Gotta
So
sign up for Aura.
you might want to get the dogs out of this for this next story, Michael,
Oh my
because
god.
we had
What does that even mean?
I don't know.
a very dark time on the internet with this next story. So, South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem, in her book that's coming out, there was a leak, and in the story, she had to shoot her dog
What the
and throw it
heck?
in a gravel pit because it seems like an old Yeller situation when the
Mhm.
dog started attacking livestock and stuff like that. So the reaction mostly is like rural versus city because the rural people are like,
Yeah.
It happens. Yeah, it's part of.
I've had an uncle that had to do that with like 2 of his dogs. It's like, yeah, it's
And the city
farm life,
slickers
man.
were, man, they do not like puppy killing. So even when it endangers kids and stuff like that, they rather take the dogs.
I will say that there are people nowadays that would try to pet rabbit old Yeller. Oh, puppies! Like, well, please don't do that.
He's not so bad.
He's not so bad.
So
Don't give him the idea to
rumor-
remake it.
dude, Disney's on it, Jonah. Disney's on it. Speaking of Disney, the rumors of George Lucas's returns has returned.
Oh boy.
So there was this guy who was involved with Return of the Jedi. He was on Star Wars Theories channel, and he was talking about George Lucas potentially being involved in a Disney Plus series. It didn't sound too convincing to me. I think the guy was just kind of remembering George's visits to like the Mandalorian or something like that. But that brings up the question, would George Lucas even help Star Wars at this point, the way it's going?
Star Wars fans will complain about literally anything, though. They didn't like him when he was making Star Wars.
True,
so
that's true. They didn't like the prequels.
they just turn on stuff and then just come back to it when there's something else to turn on.
Except for
What do you guys
except
think?
for the Last Jedi, that was truly the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, but it did. That's when they started liking the prequels, though. So, like
True.
after a decade of hating it, though.
Though I will say is like when you compare the two, you're just like, oh no, we had it good, didn't we?
I don't know. Would
I
you
don't
guys
know,
want to
like-
see a George Lucas series?
No.
Not
I mean,
really.
he's done like a few private stuff, like a few like short films and animated films, and nobody's watched them. It's just
I don't
if it's
know.
not Star Wars, nobody cares.
I don't know what Star Wars needs, but it doesn't need anything they're trying right now. They're just like taking old
Maybe a break,
it
Like a decade-long break.
just needs a
like they did
total-
before.
Just take a whole total different direction. Just forget everything you've done so far and do something else. Like use the ideas
yeah.
and the that you know, and that's it.
Decanonize that last trilogy, please.
Just
I
make
can't
it a
even do
dream.
I can't
Yeah.
even
Get
do
a
it now
dream.
because everybody's dead. So like or
Just
dying.
have like
Just go
Baby
farther into the
Yoda wake
future.
up in the movie.
No baby
And
Yoda.
it was
We already know
all a
Baby Yoda.
It was all a dream. It was all Baby Yoda's dream.
or go back in the past. Like they've got a lot to work with for like
The Old Republic.
I don't even really want him to touch the.
I understand because like that's like the last bastion of hope we have is like that at least is good. It's still good,
Yeah,
but because
I'm not
they
even looking-
touched on Thrawn and you're just like, please don't do anymore. Like it's
Yeah.
kind of cool. Leave him that way.
I'm not even looking forward to that Dawn of Jedi movie they're doing. So, yeah, they just need totally new people in there.
Didn't they
New
say
direct-
Like there's
Directors.
no advertising for the Acolyte at all now. Like they had that one trailer drop and nobody's talking about it.
I know, even like May the 4th was yesterday, and like
Nothing.
I was like,
Nothing.
where is the news? Like I kept expecting something and nothing happened. But didn't they say
Michael
that,
felt a disturbance.
didn't they say that the one of the writers for Andor was going to do the new movie at least?
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's at least slightly hopeful because I loved Andor, but
Mhm.
Yeah, that Dawn of the Jedi one. Yep.
who knows, man? Who knows?
Who knows, man? All right. So the last thing I have is the Mufasa trailer dropped. Oh my. So this one getting a lot of negative reaction as well. People are calling it soulless. To me, it just looks lazy, man. It just looks
Yeah.
like they pasted Mufasa's story onto Simba's story and called it a day. Did anyone get this chance to see the trailer?
I didn't even watch it. And I was just I thought it was a joke. I honestly thought it was a joke trailer. But
I
apparently
saw
not.
it, but
Yeah.
most unnecessary thing ever.
Yeah, I was watching it at work, and literally, like, I put in our chat. I was like, I was watching it. I just started daydreaming. Like, just get distracted. I was like, this is so. It's so bland. Like, just it's so boring and empty and soul. Like you're saying, soulless.
Did you hear what the story was though, or how it works?
Aren't they like
He's
telling a story?
he's, like, supposed to be
It's like a
become
prequel, half prequel, and half sequel.
Oh, it
Oh,
is.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah, not good. Didn't look good.
So they're telling Mufasa's story to.
Who needs
then-
Mufasa's story?
I think it's just like continuing Simba's and then going back to Mufasa's.
Really?
Like back and forth. I don't know. I think so.
I
They
don't
already
know.
had a Lion King 2 on VHS, and it was actually not
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
fun. I don't know.
Yeah, and then who needs Mufasa's story? And then what I've heard from it, it's like, oh, he was not king, or he was in royalty
Yeah. He
originally.
was just a street rat.
He was
Well,
some
by
kind
that-
of street lion. living on the It's like so
Mufasa
dumb.
Aladdin. All right.
All right. So that's all I got. Time to get into the homework. Who wants to go first? What? We got Star Trek this time, do we?
We didn't, because I kept forgetting about the movie, and I usually watch it before the podcast, and then I saw Fall Guy instead of watching Star Trek. And I
No
haven't even
Star
made my
Trek.
lunches for work this week, so I'm behind big time.
Dang.
Yeah.
All right. So who's got something they want to talk about? Jared, you want to talk about any?
Give me a second. I have.
Okay, Jared's not ready.
Jared's
Yeah,
not
I'm
ready.
not
All I have is Dragon Ball Super again this time. so
Okay, you
I
can talk
continue
about
on with that. Because we got it last time. We got introduced to Goku Black. And I didn't know-
Last time.
I
on
didn't know
Dragon
who.
Ball
Yeah,
Z.
last time a Dragon Ball Super recap of Super Not So Super. We met Goku Black for the first time. We had a fun fight with Goku and Goku Black, and then he went off back to the time where Trunks' future man was from. We didn't like that. Then it just continues on to just disappoint. I was hopeful. I was like, we're out of this stuff. Yes, Jared.
Did you finish the arc?
I finished the arc. So I thought I finished the arc a few days ago. So the last episode I had seen until earlier this morning, before I went to go see Fall Guy, I watched an episode really fast. And I had seen the episode where Trunks, because I don't know. There's no thought put into this. They have the whole fight where they're fighting this guy over and over again. There's two Zabumafus. One's Goku, one's not. Then they fuse into God, and he's like half human, half not. It's just the laziest kind of story creation and progression of fighting. Like I could talk about the tournament arc where they're like, he just got better as they fought, and that's exactly what happens here. They're just like, oh, now he's stronger, and then when they go back to the thing. And after Goku Black fought Goku, he's like, oh, I see in this Saiyan body, I become better when I fight better people. Now I am Super Saiyan Rosier. And I'm like, that's what you're going to call this? Because his hair is pink. He's a Rosier, Thomas. It's blue and Rosier. Not Super Saiyan 3, Rosier. They are fancy now, Thomas, in the future. Yes, and I don't know. And so... Anyway, that happened, and I was like, "That's ridiculous." And then they kept like acting like they fought him forever. They kept bouncing between back and forth between the times and everything like that.
That was the worst part. Them going, oh, we're not strong enough. We got to go back in time, get stronger, and then they go back and they're still not stronger. So they go back and get stronger.
Oh, then we're gonna do the pot trick. But then as we've said before, Goku is an absolute bimbo imbecile, and they just will not stop hammering that in. So the first time they go fight, he forgets the bag of sensu beans. And like, oh, Goku, he's like, I had it back here, I swear, blah, 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 blah. And then so the second time they go, they're like, oh, we can't beat this guy because he's immortal. He's indestructible. You can't beat Zabumafu. He's a great lemur and he'd live on forever. And so he goes and he's like, I'm going to learn the trick from Dragon Ball. We're going to bring Master Roshi into this, and we're gonna whooshy Piccolo man, but now invincible man into the pot. What happens, guys? Does anyone remember? Goku forgot the tag that allows you not to open the pot. So they actually, for some reason, Trunks learns the technique from Bulma and a video of Piccolo on her cell phone of how to do the special attack, a special containment field wave. And then they get the bad man in there while Goku's fighting Goku Vegeta, fucking Goku Black over there. And then they sit on the pot for a minute, and then he comes out of the pot, and that was it because Goku.
Wait, who are they?
They're fighting. They're fighting Zabumafu, not Goku Black.
Oh, okay.
Because he goes after them because he's like, oh, they have got to blow up their other time machine. They're doing weird stuff in this. Like, these capsules are getting ridiculous. By the way, like they're bringing like feasts and castles and meals and an entire shed full of equipment where she can apparently make a new time machine in 5 seconds. But yeah, so that was really dumb. But anyway, to get back to the point of where I watched the point where Goku and Vegeta. Oh my god, I forgot about this until literally just now. Goku and Vegeta are like, hey, you know what? We need to become more powerful. You know what we need to do, Vegeta, because you and I have been beaten to a pulp. Let's do what we did. We fought Boo. It was a clean break. You know, we fought Boo. We were supposed to be stuck together forever because we fused with the Kai rings. We got to do it again. And Vegeta's like, no, we can't do that again. That's ridiculous. Yes, Jared.
That was the one good thing about this arc, is they defused Supreme Kai and Capito.
Oh yeah,
I did like that. I like that they got
because God, that's an ugly design when they fused.
Yeah.
But it's like we get to this point where they just keep erasing Dragon Ball history. They're like, okay, we're gonna fuse. Vegeta's like, I'm not doing that again. Blah blah blah. We stuck together forever. Like, oh no, that's just for Kais. For human people, you only need that for 3 hours. It's just like that defeats literally the entire moment of becoming Vegito in Super to save the day, because like we were sacrificing literally our own lives to become this one to save the thing. No, 3 hours, you're good. But then of course no, because they're super powerful, it only lasts like 10 seconds. So they beat up the dude anyway. All this fighting happens. Blah 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 blah. They fight. They all get their butts kicked. They come back for some reason. Trunks is now like stronger than Super Saiyan Blues and stuff because he's angry. Because he's angry, he gets real powerful. They're like, remember those Saiyans in Dragon Ball Z? When they get angry, they get more powerful. That's what we're gonna do. So he's uber strong, and he's beating up the god better than Goku and Vegeta could, even though they're Super Saiyan Blue, which is equivalent of Rosier, apparently. What's next? I don't know. Sapphire. Anyway, so then they all do it. Goku and Vegeta basically beat him. But then he's like, no, we have to have Trunks beat him because it's his timeline. They say it 50 times. It's his timeline. He has to be the one to beat it. So what does everyone do? They just they speed create a super bomb. What the heck is that called? Remember, drum blank?
Spirit bomb.
Thank you, super bomb. It's super anyway. And then Trunks fuses it into his broken sword, and then he slices the man in half. And then that's where the episode ended. And I was like, okay, I finally finished the Black Arc. Thank God. Because I'd stayed up late watching that. And I'm like, okay, well, today I'll watch the episode and see what the after arc stuff is where they have their fun, happy.
Did you stay up till like 4 a.m.?
No, I couldn't sleep that night. That was
okay, because I got like that random text in the chat. I was like,
I messaged
go to bed.
Things I couldn't sleep. And so I was laughing in bed trying to fall asleep. Anyway, so then I come back this morning and I turn it on, and instead of dying, what happens, ladies and gentlemen? The show can't make up its mind. The guy comes back to life. He becomes this imprint on the sky where it's just a bunch of his faces. He kills everyone on the planet. You see, for some reason, Android 8 is just flashing through this whole fight. You just see a flash of Android 8 sitting on the sideline. He's the Frankenstein android from Dragon Ball, and he's flashing. And then you see him later on, and he flashes again. He has no point in the slightest during this fight or anything in this series whatsoever. And then as these faces take over the sky, you see a giant red laser beam just blow up Android 8, and he's gone. It's like, that's a touchstone for people. Let's put that in there to make them care. No one cared. And so he becomes an Aider in the sky, and then Aider, and then so Goku pulls out a beeper, and he's like, "I'm gonna call my new best friend, the ruler of all time and space, Mr. Guy, that Eyeball Man." And he brings them over, and he makes friends with them again, even though they didn't know each other. And then he just erases everything. He's like, "I'm delete everything." So then Goku freaks out. They all disappear back to their timeline. I'm like, "Oh wow, that's gonna be interesting." They actually did something different, and they're gonna have Future Trunks is going to be a part of the crew now. Old Mai is going to be with Young Mai. They're going to be a part of the thing. Now he's like, oh, I'll just take you back before the time. There'll be 2 of you in the other time. We won't show that bit. But you guys are okay with that? Like, sure, we're okay. Let's bring everybody back. We'll go stab him again, and then Beerus gets in trouble because he accidentally created a second timeline. It's all stupid. I was blown away by how dumb this arc was. It was utterly ridiculous. I'm like, why? I don't know. I don't know.
I will say,
yes,
it is the worst arc in Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT.
It's terrible.
It's terrible.
I started this series thinking that Beerus was going to be the worst of it. And then Frieza was terrible. And then this, and I'm like, I missed the Beerus stuff. How did the god fighting become the best part of this series so far? I don't understand it. Okay, I'll lie about that. The tournament was better than Beerus stuff. The tournament stuff was better than Beerus. Still not great. So I don't know. I've lost all hope. I was talking to Logan about it. And Logan says the final arc is actually good. And I'm like, well, okay. At least there's something I'll end on that's okay. Because the rest of this is utter garbage. I am, 65, 70 episodes into the show? It's all of them bad.
Going off of what you've talked about at least so far is you're gonna like this next arc a little bit.
Okay, a little bit. Okay.
Yeah.
You're not gonna love it.
Yeah.
No.
But you're gonna have respect
if I'm not
for it.
slapping my forehead continuously against my hand, because like literally up to this point, I've been like, okay, this show's not great. It's not doing anything. Because all the we'll get on the characters in just a second, then I'll wrap up. Because I've hit the point where I'm like, yes, this show sucks. Like I'm at the point where I have to distinguish this show, and it sucks. It's not good. I told Alex, do not watch it. It is not good. Watch what you have. Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. After that, nothing exists. That's it. The new show, I will say, the trailer looks very cool, and the art looks amazing. In the animation. Anyway, so do a quick roundup of characters because we've talked about Goku sucks. Vegeta is the only good character in the show so far. He is the only growth and change, and like his kind of like becoming more a father mentor kind of character. Gohan sucks, though. He did say goodbye to Trunks, and Trunks kind of sees him as like future Gohan. You're like, oh, okay, so we're getting to the point where Gohan's gonna have a comeback. We'll see what that means. I don't know yet. Everyone sucks, and then a big one that's really sucking for me because a character in Dragon Ball Z that I loved so much in the Buu saga was a Videl. She's such a strong character. She had such a fighting spirit, such an interest. It was an interest kind of like reintroduction to the world. Because like you have that kind of main character that's a part of everything in like normal stories. Like, oh, you're going to learn about everything. Harry Potter learns about the Wizarding World through the eyes of, you learn it through the eyes of Harry Potter. And you kind of like reintroduced in a strange way to Dragon Ball Z whenever Videl comes in and Goku's kind of like telling her about the powers. You've never really heard that before in Dragon Ball Z before. And I really enjoyed that. And in this series, she's just not like, hello, Gohan. I am wife. I have baby. We have food. Happy, happy, happy. That's Videl. And I'm so annoyed by it. So yeah, all the characters just suck in this show. The show sucks. I hate to say that. I was really hoping to really enjoy it, and it sucks. And I'm very sad about that. But yeah, I was telling Alex, the only good thing about the show is maybe kind of remember how much I miss these characters. Of like, I'm like, oh man, I miss like, the other versions of them, the Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball versions, or I'm like, these characters are so good. It makes me like kind of want to rewatch that, or even the new Budokai Tenkaichi game that's coming out. I forget what it's called. Looks very cool, and I probably will actually play that now.
Budokai Tenkaichi Rose. That's what it's
Please God, no. But yeah, so I'm very upset. I'm very upset. This show sucks. I have less than half left, and then I gotta find something else because it's just not it. It's not.
I still think
is.
GT is the worst.
That black art is pretty god awful.
Is bad.
It's bad.
I was astounded how bad I thought it was gonna be good. I really thought it was gonna be good. And it's just all the motivations, reasoning, explanations, the one-ups and triumphs that were just so dumb. It was so
They
bad.
had promise, but
Yeah. It's like,
it was
oh,
terrible.
you're this kind of bad Kai. That's a very cool idea. But it's just bad. That's it. Yeah, so that's my Dragon Ball Super rant. Let's continue next time where we will find out what happens to who knows.
What character gets assassinated on Dragon Ball Z? By character, I mean their character, not the actual person.
Their actual, that's it.
All right. I can go now.
I have red marks from slapping myself in the forehead if you guys can't tell.
So Jackson, for anime, Jackson made me watch Rising of a Shield Hero. I had never seen it.
Heard it's good.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
That raccoon lady is pretty nice because she's the only one that believes in him. And so I'm like, nice. But I got to this bird part. I was like, oh, he got a chocobo. And then it gets fat. And I was like, oh, it's kind of cute. And then it turns into a little girl. And I was like, I don't like this. I don't like this at all.
Never turn into little girls. Then it gets weird.
But apparently it is a bird. It can just transform its look. So I was like a little bit on board, but still I was like,
Because like the bird is its actual form. Right?
yeah.
Yeah.
but I do like how he's pretty like because when he gets to the world, everyone like craps on him, and he's wrongly accused of like everything you can do, and just the citizens hate him, royalty hates him, his own like the people that were summoned to that world with him hate him unfairly because
That guy stole my pizza.
The audience hates him.
because he's the shield hero. That's not a weapon. And they're like, what a loser.
I love that explanation. Like, oh, I was like, I like when he tries to pull, reach for like a short sword. He's like,
my favorite part is that he can't kill things because he just defends, but he carries these little balloon creatures on him. If he ever does need to like bite somebody or like hurt somebody, he throws these little balloon creatures at people. But it's cool. You see how he can, what a character that can only defend, how he's going to get along in this world. His companion kind of does the attacking and he defends both of them. And
there was a lot of controversy about that character, by the way, when the first guy introduced like his sword companion. Because of the way he acquires
just the
her.
way, yeah. I won't get into that. That was a long time ago. I don't want to bring that
well,
back.
No, it's just like when you watch it, you're like, oh no, I get it.
It makes sense in the world.
Right, exactly. I was just like, they're just
people just wanted to complain about some.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna continue it. It was pretty good.
I think the third season just came out, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
When are you gonna watch Log Horizon?
No, I'm not gonna watch.
When, Jared?
Dang it!
For YouTube, real fast, the only things I watched were these Drumeo videos where it was like the drummer from Red Hot Chili Peppers listens to a song he doesn't know, so he listened to a 30 Seconds to Mars song. He kind of played it perfectly. And then the drummer, this funk drummer, played a Tool song he's never heard it before, and it sounded like Tool but really funky, so it was kind of cool. And then the Michael Jackson's drummer has a lot of videos on there, and that guy looks so bored playing drums because it's like the song he's been doing for years, but he looks so bored. But he's a really good drummer. And then the only other thing of note is I watched a movie called Stop Motion that came out last year. Directed by Robert Morgan. He did, if you guys ever saw the ABCs of Death, that was a movie about different horror directors coming together to do a short film based off a letter. His was D for delousing. It's a really good short stop motion film.
Based on that book, The Z Got Z?
I think one references that.
Really?
But he does really good stop motion stuff. I watched all his short films after I watched this movie because I'm always a sucker for stop motion. The movie itself, really good. It's not like crap your pants scary, but it is. It's got a good atmosphere, and
is that the one where the girl's like making a stop motion movie?
Yeah,
and they're like alive.
Mm-hmm. It's more creepy and more like grotesque than scary, but I liked it, and the stop motion was really good in it. That's all I did this week.
Sweet. All right. Well, I guess I'll go next because Jonah and I did some stuff together. So, but first I watched Crisis on Infinite Earth Part 1. I'm still not a big fan of this art style, kind of hate it, but it had a lot of good like DC history stuff in it. The Flash is kind of the main character in this one. And it wasn't the best DC movie I've ever seen, but it was okay. So speaking of DC movies, me and Jonah continued our Batman watch, and we finished the first season, and we continued with Mask of the Phantasm. So it's been a long time since I've seen it. Starts off with CG. It's a little weird. It's kind of like that Spider-Man CG, if you remember that. And they put like lyrics to the Batman theme. So I read that it's actually they're chanting the Latin names of the crew like backwards. So that's what that was. Hans Zimmer actually worked on this movie. He did
Yeah, I
the
remember
synth
that.
for it. So that's his first Batman stuff. Dana Delaney does the voice of the Bruce Wayne's love interest, and of course she would play Lois Lane on Superman. So kind of where they found her. The movie is good. I like the Joker in this movie. It's kind of funny because they mentioned that the Joker was just kind of they didn't want to make him the main focus of the movie, but I think he actually steals the movie actually because he I think this is his most menacing that he's been like in the animated series from this. I think he's the most menacing here. Jonah, what did you think of Mask of the Phantasm?
It's good. It's not as good as everyone says, but
Wow.
Dang.
Wow.
just like because like you know who the Phantasm is from like second one in this movie, and it didn't really make me care for like that character at all because I knew she was going to like turn. They're going to reveal her as the character at the end.
Spoilers.
But-
I'm kidding.
But yeah, I don't think we really needed the Joker in this movie, but it could have just been the Phantasm as the villain and then just the gangsters. But yeah, he is good. Like he's good in the movie, but
Well, the most menacing the Joker's been is in the Batman Beyond movie. Does some messed up
I
stuff
don't
in that
remember
movie.
that movie.
You
We'll
guys
get
gonna
to that
watch
someday.
Yeah.
Sub-Zero?
Yeah, we'll watch
Oh.
that after season 2, I think.
I was obsessed with that trailer when it came out.
I remember it was on like every VHS.
Yeah.
Like you could not get away from it.
Did you have any thoughts on season 1 of Batman?
no, it's great.
It's great. You know, we started season 2. Season 2 is a lot of like, it's like, I told Jonah, it's like a lot of the villains are reforming in season 2 or trying
Yeah,
to
they
reform
do
in season.
do that plot a little too much so far.
And of course, they really wanted to push Robin for like toy sakes and stuff. So Robin's like in all of them. And me and Jonah just joke that Robin gets killed like
Yeah.
every episode. And then me and Jonah continued our very slow journey into Alfred Hitchcock movies. We watched Rear Window. This movie, it's frustrating that newer movies just because it's so simple. The plot is so simple in this movie, but they still make it thrilling. Like I know what's going to happen, but I'm still like, lady, don't go or get out of the house. It's just they just don't do that anymore in movies. Yeah.
So
But-
this is a question for Jonah. So what did you think of that first establishing shot when it goes around the neighborhood from his perspective?
Oh, it's great.
There we go.
It's perfect. Just sets everything up
Yeah.
from the start.
What I love about it, it tells pretty much the story of the neighborhood, but also includes the, I guess, the handicapped of the main character, all within that first establishing shot when he comes back to his broken leg. I was like, that's just so
And then-
freaking cool.
And then they repeat it at the end of the movie.
Mhm.
And yeah, I think this is probably my second favorite so far, but it's by like a hair from North by Northwest. And but this movie is so impressive and like Joseph was saying, he's just so good at this premise that's just so like stupidly simple, but it gets just so intriguing so fast, and you can't look away from it. And I love the way this movie's shot too, because he's like a photographer, and it really reminds me of like photography from like the 60s and stuff like that, like houses and like lifestyle and stuff like that. And I think that makes it even better because nowadays when you see this kind of movie, like everything, like the house he's in would be like all in shadow, and it'd be they try to make it mysterious, but I love that it's so like perfectly lit and it looks like a perfect like home. That makes it creepier that you know that there was like a murder in there.
Yeah.
And just everything like under the surface too. Like there's so much you can get from the story and like the windows and like just watching people, and it's just an amazing movie. So
Jonah has a new passion of watching people through windows.
Well, when you're talking about like how
if you're just sitting in a window all day, wouldn't you?
You got to do something.
I'd be like, no, we can't look.
When you're talking about how everybody or how it's all set up in like picture frames, I like
Mhm.
how each neighbor is basically one like it's almost like flipping through like a magazine. Of,
Yes.
like, of different styles of living.
Mhm.
That's a really good point that you brought up.
Yeah, I like the set. I like that big window one where they're having that party and stuff like that. It was really cool. Yeah, it's hard to be North by Northwest. That
Yeah.
movie's just so good.
So
It gets very close though.
Are
Yeah.
you gonna watch the remake Disturbia?
Love that movie.
I haven't seen that.
I thought I kind of still like Strangers on a Train though. But this one, yeah, it's hard to pick between those two. There's Strangers on a Train and Rear Window. Catch a Thief is definitely the worst one.
Yeah.
I think Grace Kelly's better in this movie than she was in that one.
Yeah.
But we'll continue. We still have a ton of movies left, so someday we'll rank them all. When we
You gonna go through all of his TV shows too?
I didn't know how big his filmography was till I looked it up.
Well, he had that whole period where he was in England and then he came to America.
Yeah, the silent films.
And then like his last one is like a propaganda film for like France or something like that. So keeping it kind of old timey, I watched the series Ripley on Netflix. It was surprisingly probably the best show I've seen this year, I would say. It's beautiful. It's shot in black and white. It's based on the talented Mr. Ripley. You might remember the Matt Damon version a while ago. But this one is, what's his name? Andrew Scott, I think is his name. He's from Sherlock. He was Moriarty in that. And it has, what's her name? Dakota Fanning. She's in it.
Oh yeah.
So he plays a con man, and it takes place in Italy, so it's beautiful, the sets and everything like that. And it just paints a very like this. It just shows how like this guy's obviously very intelligent, but he's also very disturbed. And I like that. And it's very neo noir. So if you're fans of that, it's just, but that black and white, man, it's hard to beat that. It just makes everything look really pretty and stuff.
You know
like
what
that.
beats that? Color.
I don't know, Jared. I don't know. But yeah, so that was good. And then, so you guys mentioned that 21 Pilots had a couple of new singles out. So I was going to listen to them, but then I'm like, I actually haven't heard their last album. So I listened to that one, which is Scaled and Icy. I put it on, and man, I'm like, what the heck is
Yeah.
Very
I was
different.
not expecting that. It's very bright. It's very poppy. And it wasn't really for me. The last two songs I thought were the best. I thought the last song was the best because it's kind of more like their older stuff. So we'll have to see what the new stuff. I think the newer stuff is more like the older stuff, but
I didn't like that album at all. Yeah.
It's
Probably
one
the
that
most forgiving out of everyone.
I after listening, the first time I listened to it, I was like, oh, that's not really for me. And then I kind of dropped it off. And then probably like, honestly, a year or two later, I listened to it again. I was like, okay, it grew on me more when I accepted more of what it was. Because Trench is 100% my favorite of their albums.
Mhm.
And so going to this one, it's like, it's just a far cry absolutely from what Trench is. And like, and
So
they even said it. They're
happy.
like, he was like, we wanted to do something different from that kind of down, intense album. We wanted to just have fun and play some music together. And I get that.
I
and
don't
it's
think
still not
their
my
other
favorite, but-
albums are that downbeat though.
I know,
think they're all kind of upbeat. So it was just
Yeah.
like very drastically
Yeah, it's-
upbeat, I guess.
They were like, yeah, we need a break. But so I definitely enjoyed it going back to it with the expectation of what it was for sure. It's definitely, like I said, not my favorite, but there are a few songs in there that I keep on rotation.
You weren't
Have
like
you heard-
shocked.
Michael, have
Go
you
ahead.
heard the earlier the albums before Trench?
Mhm.
What do you think of that?
The first one is very much like so they don't even consider their first album. They're like, really, Vessels is our first album as like who our identity is, because their original one is very, very different. It's very, very like the vocals are not where they are in the newer one. It's very kind of like whiny, punky kind of that kind of lyrics and stuff like that. In its own identity, I can listen to the whole album and enjoy it. But like if a song comes on, I'm like, I'm gonna skip that because it just has that, it just kind of has a mode you have to get into. Vessels I like a lot. I think Vessels has more like songs that stand out to me that are high up on my list, but it's not my favorite. I probably like Blurry Face more as an album because I feel like it flows better. But Vessels has standout songs to me more than Blurry Face, and then Trench obviously I think is just like a perfect album. It's golden.
But what's funny is Trench. It tells it. I don't know because I don't know much about like Blurry Face and the other ones, but Trench in music videos, I don't think you guys watch music videos, and in the songs tells like a story of like kind of like rebels or something like that, and then they paused for that next album because it's all happy and it's just like, hey, summertime fun songs.
Yeah.
But it looks like they're going back to that storyline in these new singles. So it's funny that they had a little pause for that album.
That's pretty neat. I know also that because I remember watching some interview with I'm trying to blank on the singer's name, but kind of his house and how he obviously struggles with all that stuff that he sings about and everything, and how he needed some just kind of like light in his life whenever he was talking about writing that and making that album. I was like, I accept it.
It was right after COVID too. So
yeah, true.
I think it's wanted to be happy for once.
Yeah, it's like let's just enjoy things a little bit.
Let's not have an album without COVID.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's all I did. Jonah, did you have anything else you wanted to talk about?
No, not much. I watched Big Trouble in Little China for the first time.
Oh,
Awesome
cool.
movie.
What the hell?
What?
What the hell?
Oh yeah.
It's a fun movie, huh?
Yeah, it's really cool. Besides that, I watched The Social Network for the first time. Very impressive script. I love the dialogue in it.
Mhm.
I think it gets on some people's nerves, but I just like fast dialogue like that.
That's just Aaron Sorkin. Like,
Yeah.
once you know it is, you're like, oh, no, it makes sense.
Well, it's him like coupled with Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
but it's probably one of the best like biopics I've like on a technical level, and the music's great too.
Captain Christian has a really good video about David Fincher.
This is a spinoff from the House of Dragon character. What is this? Sir Christian, Captain Christian.
Yeah.
He's taking his own ship and he's moving on.
Captain Christian with a K.
I'll watch his reviews.
He has a really good video about David Fincher and about how many takes it takes to do something.
Yeah.
Like for the Jesse Eisenberg, the laptop scene. It's like, was it like 97 takes, Jared?
Jeez.
Like yeah.
But him breaking was like, yeah, we had to keep repairing the laptop because like we had 5, but we went through that in the first 5 takes. We had to keep going.
Oh my gosh.
Jonah, was the soundtrack Trent Reznor and
yes, it was their first soundtrack.
Okay.
Yeah, I also partly watched it because I realized like I've never seen a David Fincher movie, so I just started with that one.
Really?
Yeah.
I recommend Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. That's actually really good.
Okay.
All right, I think we're at Thomas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So get some anime out of the way. Watched Mashuko Tensei Jobless Reincarnation, the continuation of that one anime I really like. It's getting very emotional, but it's quite good. And then Kaiju number 8. The new episode came out yesterday. That was a lot of fun. Still good. And I think I am enjoying it as a weekly installment as much as I complain. So it's just kind of nice to have it again.
Real fast. I listened to the opening of that and it's really good.
Mm-hmm. Did you listen to the ending one too?
No, just the opening. And it looked like a Bond film, like the visuals and stuff.
Like all the visuals and stuff.
Yeah.
Like the circles. Yeah. So It's a cool opening. So okay, I finished Fallout, by the way. Like,
Oh, did
the
you?
show. It's like-
am I free to spoil that or what?
I have 2 episodes left. We were gonna watch them Wednesday, but we had that big storm, so Johnny didn't come over. So we're gonna watch them this week.
Okay.
Johnny was scared.
Well, I told him I was like, I don't know if it's gonna hail or not. So like, they've got
Mhm.
nice new cars.
Yeah. Luckily I got my car in there. Anyway, okay, I'm not going to spoil anything then, but I will say that it has such an random cameo that I had to pause and going like, is that really who I think it is? So it's Eric Estrada shows up as a one-off character just randomly. I'm just like, it is so weird. Like I don't really want to give it away. It was just so jarring when I saw it because they kind of like built him up and then he takes off this mask. I'm like, it's freaking Eric Estrada. Like, what the hell? Like, that's so unnecessary.
Should have been him from Chips. He just like on a motorcycle drives.
Yeah, driving across the Mojave. They're in California. Makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, but there was this. Oh God, there was this line from one of the people, and I got so angry at it. Joseph, have you heard it?
Yeah. I watched Mahler has a review of the series.
That is the stupidest line I have ever heard in my life. Like it made my blood boil. Like I almost threw something at the screen. I'm just like, I actively hate you and want you to die. Like I freaking hate you, you stupid commie. Yeah. I'll say overall, it was a decent show. Not amazing, but honestly, I think that's the bar we're working at right now with modern adaptations. So I'll take it. Mr. Brotherhood Maximus got a lot better. I didn't think he could, but he did.
Did he learn how to act?
Yes, he actually emoted, and I was like, "Oh, good for you." There was this part with the popcorn that actually made me crack up a lot. So
I like that where he's like happy in there. He's like,
he's,
wait,
like,
life
happy.
is easy in here, hung on.
But I like, when something's going down, he like looks at it. It's like looks at the popcorn, like
the conversation before they get into the settlement.
Oh my
And they're just
God.
on the bed, and she's like, "We going to have sex?" And he's just like, "Well, no, there's something wrong with me."
Well, I also love it when she. Okay, can I say that on here? But just.
I don't know.
Anyway, it's a really funny line that he
That was a
says like
funny
inside
scene.
the vault. It was really funny, but he
I
got
thought
better,
the-
and I think he. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I thought the funniest from Mahler's reaction or review of it was he's like, they somehow character assassinated a dog.
Yeah. I think the ghoul's a little overhyped, if I'm honest, but yeah, it's just again, it's all right. It's not amazing, but again, that's what we're working with. So, at least it's not bad. I'll say that much, which is sad nowadays that we have to say that. Then I watched Invincible season 2, the latter half. This was really good, and I'm actually really excited for the next season. And then I looked up the productions for it, and the voice acting has already been done, and they're just finishing up the animation. They said it's going to be a lot quicker than 3 years this time, so hopefully. And then this YouTubing, this one channel called Archer Green. He does a lot of character analysis videos. He did like some for No Country for Old Men. Weirdly enough, he did one for all of Ryan Gosling's movies. He's like, I watched all 26 of them. See why everybody likes this guy.
Great
It's very
bimbo.
interesting. Well, he's like,
Great
he says that honest. Weirdly enough, he said his comedic works actually seem to work a little better than his serious works. But weirdly enough, inside the comedic roles, he brings a very serious tone to some of them, and so it's kind of an odd thing to see that. But it was really funny. And then I got onto this. I got obsessed with this guy for a little bit. It's called The Fat Electrician. He does these history videos about like just random things you wouldn't have thought about or you haven't heard about. Like he did one about you've seen Fury, right? I mean, Brad Pitt's character's name is War Daddy. Well, there was an actual guy that went by War Daddy in World War II, and his tank and his tanker crew was responsible for like 12 enemy tank kills and like I think 2,000 confirmed kills, like enemy kills. Like the guy was just crazy. He fought Joe Louis to like a standstill whilst in World War II. Like Joe Louis was doing like the propaganda rounds of like, hey, I'll box the troops for motivation and stuff. And then apparently War Daddy was an actual boxer, and so he like cracks Joe Louis across the jaw, and Joe Louis is like, okay, now we're just gonna fight now. And War Daddy says, I almost got killed by Joe Louis, but that was the coolest thing I've ever done in my life. So kind of a cool thing. And then you had like another one of his videos covered the 77th Infantry Division in the Japan field of war. It's like one of the few army divisions with the Marines, and they were mostly made up of older men. Like the average age inside that battalion was 29, and for the army that is super old. Like the oldest they had in there I think was like 54, which is ancient compared to the armies. But apparently these guys this one battalion is responsible for 43,000 enemy kills. And with that action, by the way, is someone you might have heard of, Desmond Doss, the guy from Hacksaw Ridge. He was part of that. He was part of that battalion. Apparently, like in this battalion, they won like 4 medals of honor and like a ton of other lists.
Uh-oh.
Like, is that me this time? Good enough.
No,
the last
it was
one.
Thomas.
Sorry, did I
He's
You're
on
good.
a
It's just a
delay.
second. It's
freak
just a second.
out for a second?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the last one is a video about this company that makes the mail truck. And the same people that make the mail truck make the A10 Warthog. As in
Same
jet
vehicle.
in the engine. Yeah. So the same people that make the little bitty mail trucks also make one of the scariest planes ever to exist. And what's even weirder is that General Electric makes the gun that goes inside the Warthog. So it's like a bunch of nerds just got together and have a higher kill count than anybody ever.
Let's make big stuff.
So it was just a very weird video, and it kept like it's like a rabbit hole. It just kept going down and down and down. You're just like, what's even real anymore?
Mailmen just slap their mail trucks right into this bad boy.
A Vulcan gun comes out to the side, like. And then Brandon Herrera did a really cool clone build of a rifle, and it's the NCR rifle from Fallout New Vegas. It's completely accurate to the game, and it's pretty cool. In his opening though, he accidentally falls down and scrapes the hell out of it, and so he's like showing it off. He's like, yeah, it's patinaed like you would in the Mojave Desert. Yeah, it's how it goes. So, and then
Custom faded.
Custom faded. Yeah.
Pre-ripped jeans.
And then I did my book and movie review thing.
The Return.
So I know. I thought I'd read this book in high school, but I guess I didn't, because I read a lot of the classic horror books like Jekyll and Hyde and The Invisible Man and Dracula, but apparently I never read this one. I read Frankenstein for the first time, which wow, can't believe I never read that. Really, really good book. Very odd, but it was kind of ahead of its time. So I give it a lot of credit for, I won't say inventing science fiction, but definitely paving the way for it. I think people give it too much credit when it says it invented science fiction, but whatever. Finding a movie adaptation of this is kind of hard, like a good one, because you have like the old one, but that's nothing like the book at all. It's such a old school monster movie,
like an accurate episode adaptation.
Yeah, exactly. And then you had the one by Kenneth Branagh in the 90s with Robert De Niro as the monster. That is an odd movie. Like, it's just very weird. Like, I don't really get why he made that movie. So I decided that my adaptation that I would watch would be Young Frankenstein. And it's just the best of both worlds. It's so good. It's funny if you watch like the old movie, there's so many good references because they use like the old equipment from it. There's a lot of love for the old movie. Yeah, I just love that movie in general. So it was a fun watch. And then I don't know why I did this, but I went on like a white woman's watch list for some reason. And
He
I
got
watched
his wine out, and he
I got my rosé out, Michael. I watched Anyone But You, that Sydney Sweeney and
oh, we know why you watched that.
Oh,
mean,
Yeah, but I
yes.
say no
There were two
explanation
specific
needed.
reasons why I watched that movie. It was all right. It weirdly enough, they were trying to adapt Much Ado About Nothing in this movie.
Mhm.
They even have like exact lines from it. I'm just like, the hell? Like, why are they doing this? I mean, it was all right. It was not like, ooh, it was amazing. I could see why it made a ton of money though. So, but it was.
It's like
all
the
right.
highest grossing comedy since like the last 5 years.
Why?
It's an R-rated comedy too.
Because we don't have
crazy.
comedies anymore.
Yeah.
Didn't it get like really, really bad reviews?
No,
People loved it.
Really?
Like
Wait,
they
am
kept
it's a
seeing
chick
it. Like,
flick, man.
Am I
It
thinking
made
of the
a
right movie?
ton of money.
It has
Yeah.
the guy from the new Twisters, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Glenn Powell. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I heard it's
Thanks
just
for
like
the
a
invite,
chick
that guys,
flick.
Thomas. Jeez.
Whoa.
I mean, it was all right. It wasn't amazing, but yeah, I don't know why. And
How
then
was the rosé from watching it?
it was all right. It was a little tangy for my taste, but it's fine. And I watched that new stupid Amazon movie with Anne Hathaway.
Oh.
Why would
The
you say
idea of
that?
you. I don't know. I was house sitting for that dog, and I was just like, I have nothing else to do.
It's very
I don't
rude to
have-
call a woman. Jeez.
This was like, dude, like the most insufferable white people of all time are in this movie. I swear to God, because they meet at Coachella, and the only reason they went to Coachella is because she's divorced and her ex-husband bought VIP tickets for her daughter and her friends to go see a band at Coachella. And I'm just like, and they're all dressed like the white people at Coachella. I'm just like,
You know, Coachella is not cool anymore when they're
It's-
like live
not.
streaming it and having rich
Yeah.
people go to it.
and not only that, but when he's like, or when she's talking to the guy from the band, and he's like, "Oh, what do you do?" She's like, "Oh, I have an art gallery in Silver Lake." I'm like, "Of course you do. Of course you do." Wow.
This is
And the
like-
guy. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
It was like Hollywood people made this about themselves.
Pretty much. It's pretty much exactly what it was. But there's this part where I had to rewind the scene like 3 times. I was like, why did he do this? The guy gets like a soda, but he doesn't know how to drink soda, apparently, from a can. And it's the most weird thing to capture on film because he goes like this. He like pops the can. He goes like, he's like, that's really good. I'm just like, what the hell did I just watch?
Was it?
Don't be afraid. Get in there.
Was it intentional, or the actor didn't know how?
No, I don't have no idea because they don't address it. They're just, she's like, here's a soda. He's like, oh,
Sounds like extreme
Really
product
good.
placement.
I'm used
I'm
to
just
having
like,
my
Did
chalice.
you see the logo?
It's just-
will not bow to corporate sponsorships.
I take my
Yeah.
RC out of a chalice, please.
No, he's not Mexican, Joseph. It's just, it was so weird to watch that. I'm just like, what's going on? And the ending made no sense. I'm just like, okay, whatever. At least in the Anyone But You, the ending did make some sense. But yeah, I just remember watching those 2 movies. I'm just like, why did I do that? Like, I guess my brain is so fried from finals. I was just like, just watch something that you don't have to think about. And
That's
so,
just that's a special thing about house sitting somewhere because like it doesn't matter what you watch, you'll watch anything, and it'll
Yes.
hold your attention. It's like I could just sleep or something, or just but I'm watching this trash instead. I can do anything
What's the
else,
thing-
but
That's the thing is I was trying to like sleep, but the dog kept like barking at me, so I couldn't sleep. So I'm like, okay, I might as well watch something.
there's just something about house sitting that gives you the excuse to just do any like it gives you excuse to do anything, but you choose to do
Michael.
like
Whoa.
stuff that doesn't make sense. It's like it gives you the
Michael.
I don't know how to describe that. There's just this strange thing when you're house sitting where it's just like
You're trying to keep your
this
brain
time
active.
is already wasted.
Right, exactly.
Like there's no value to anything now, so I'm just going to that's I don't know. That's the best way to describe it. There's no value. to that
No.
time,
I understand.
so it's
I
just
understand.
Some
already-
people do this for a career
I
now.
know.
That's so weird. No, I understand what you're saying because I was already kind of mad that I had to house sit because that means I couldn't relax at my place. So for the first time that I don't have to have finals, or because I just went through finals, I actually had free time, but I couldn't do anything. I didn't have my game system, didn't have any of my movies, and so I'm like, all right, okay, just don't care.
Well, you did. I
So-
mean, you did have apparently all of Amazon to go through,
Yeah, did you use their
but
account?
you choose a Halle Berry
Yeah.
movie.
Why is this on there?
Yeah, why is he watching this?
Why is it specifically at this timestamp over and over again?
Yes.
We know why. But anyway, that was all I got. So
All right.
Yeah.
We got to say RIP to Bernard Hill, who
I
passed
know,
away,
man.
King Theoden himself. Some
Super
people's
sad.
favorite characters from those
Excellent
movies is King Theoden.
Super sad.
quite good.
All right. So, any last words, guys?
Don't trust the federal government, kids. But the thing.
Don't trust someone.
Friendly reminder.
Okay. King Theoden, I mean, he was also in Titanic,
The
which
captain.
I never realized for a long time. He was the boat
It's true.
man.
I always wanted him in more
Glorious
stuff, but I
beard.
never. I don't know if he just
Yeah, he
kind
didn't
of
really do much. Yeah.
just did lower movies. I don't know. Interesting.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for us. Please subscribe to the channel. Throw us some likes. Just throw them at us. And notify yourself for even more good stuff to come. And we will see you next time. Bye.
Record.